How to identify and relieve anxiety and stress in dogs. If you have a dog at home, you've probably noticed that, just like us humans, they also have moments of anxiety and stress. And the tricky part is that they can't exactly tell us what they're feeling in a clear way. But don't worry, in today's video, I'm going to teach you how to identify signs of anxiety and stress in your dog and, most importantly, how you can help your furry friend feel calmer and happier. Anxiety and stress can seriously affect a dog's health and well-being, just like they do with us. But the good news is that with a bit of attention and a few simple changes in their routine, you can make a big difference in your pet's life. So, let's dive in. Let's understand the signs and learn how to handle them. What is anxiety and stress in dogs? Before we get into the practical details, it's important to understand that anxiety and stress in dogs are quite similar to what we humans experience. They may not show it in the same way, but the underlying causes and emotions are very much alike. Your dog could be dealing with several triggers, ranging from simple things like environmental changes to more complex issues like past traumas. Dogs can react to these stimuli in different ways, each with their own quirks. For example, one dog might get anxious from loud noises like fireworks or thunder, while another might show anxiety when left alone, what we call separation anxiety. This is one of the most common forms of anxiety in dogs because they're social animals and often don't know how to handle solitude. Stress, on the other hand, tends to be a response to more immediate changes, like a shift in routine or the arrival of a new family member. It's crucial to understand that, just like us, dogs express these feelings in various ways and intensities. Some might just get a bit restless, while others may engage in more intense behaviors like destroying objects or even becoming aggressive. That's why being aware of these signs can help you quickly identify when something's wrong, so you can act and help your friend feel more comfortable and secure. Emotional balance is just as important as physical health for them to live a happy and peaceful life. And that brings us to the next point. How exactly can we identify these signs, and, more importantly, what can we do to help? Key signs of anxiety and stress in dogs. Now, let's get to the core of it, how to identify these feelings in your dog. There are a few classic signs of anxiety and stress that you can watch for in their behavior. The earlier you spot them, the sooner you can act to ease their discomfort. Destructive behavior. If your dog starts destroying household items when you're not around, chewing furniture, shoes, or even digging holes in the yard, it could be a clear sign of anxiety, especially if they only do this when they're alone. This behavior is often linked to separation anxiety, one of the most common issues in dogs. Excessive barking. Dogs usually bark to get attention or communicate something, but if your dog is barking more than usual, especially in situations where they should be calmer, like when they're alone or at night, it might be a sign of anxiety or stress. Changes in appetite. Just like us, dogs can either lose their appetite or overeat when they're anxious or stressed. If your dog suddenly stops eating or, on the other hand, starts eating compulsively, this could be a sign that something is emotionally affecting your pet. Excessive paw licking or biting. Anxious dogs often start obsessively licking or biting their paws, almost as a way to relieve stress. If you notice your dog doing this frequently, it's worth keeping an eye on it. Trembling and panting. In situations of intense stress, like during a storm or fireworks, some dogs start trembling or panting heavily. This is a clear physical sign that your dog is very scared and anxious, aggression, or fearful behavior. Dogs under a lot of stress may become more aggressive or, on the contrary, start hiding and avoiding contact. Both behaviors are reactions to fear or anxiety. Crouch posture or lowered ears. Your dog's body language can also tell you a lot about how they're feeling. If they are always crouched, with ears pulled back and their tail between their legs, it's a clear sign that they're uncomfortable and stressed. What causes anxiety and stress in dogs? Now that you know how to spot signs that your dog isn't doing well, let's talk about what could be causing the stress. There are many reasons, and they're often related to the environment your dog lives in or how they interact with it. Changes in routine Dogs love routine. They feel safe when they know what to expect from their day. So sudden changes, like moving to a new home, the arrival of a baby, or even changes in the time their owner comes home, can trigger stress. Lack of exercise, dogs are full of energy, and they need both physical and mental activities to stay balanced. If your dog isn't getting enough exercise, they might start getting bored, which leads to anxiety and stress. Loneliness and separation anxiety. Dogs are social animals, and many don't cope well with being alone for long periods. Loneliness can be one of the biggest causes of anxiety in dogs, especially in breeds that are very attached to their owners. Stressful external stimuli, fireworks, storms, changes in their environment like the arrival of a new pet, and even trips to the vet can be stressful for dogs. Noisy or chaotic environments. If your dog lives in a noisy, high-activity environment, they might become overwhelmed and stressed. This is more common in dogs that aren't used to constant stimuli. How to help your dog deal with anxiety and stress. Now that we understand the causes and signs, let's talk about how to help your dog feel better. There are several strategies you can use to relieve your dog's anxiety and stress, and they can vary depending on the severity of the problem. Create a routine. As mentioned before, dogs feel safer when they have a clear routine. Try to feed, walk, and play with your dog at the same times each day. This will help give them a sense of predictability and security. Physical and mental exercise. Lack of activity is one of the biggest causes of anxiety in dogs. Make sure your dog gets enough daily physical exercise. More active breeds, like Border Collies or Labradors, need long walks and mentally stimulating games, like fetch or puzzle toys. Environmental enrichment. Provide your dog with activities to help burn energy and keep them mentally engaged. Interactive toys, chew bones, and even hiding treats around the house can be fun ways to keep them entertained. Relaxing music and aromatherapy. It might sound strange, but music can help calm your dog, especially during stressful moments like storms or fireworks. There are specific playlists for relaxing dogs on YouTube and streaming apps. Aromatherapy with essential oils like lavender can also help create a more tranquil environment. Obedience training. Obedience training can be a great way to help your dog manage stress better. When your dog understands that you're in control and there are clear rules, they feel safer. Teaching basic commands like sit, stay, and come can help calm an anxious dog. Provide space and security. If your dog is stressed, sometimes they just need a safe place to calm down. Create a quiet spot in your home where they can retreat when they're anxious. A comfy bed and a few favorite toys can help create an environment where they feel protected. Talk to the vet. If your dog's anxiety is severely affecting their quality of life, it might be time to consult a vet. In some cases, the vet may recommend specific treatments like behavioral therapy or, in more serious cases, even medication to help control the anxiety. Conclusion: taking care of your dog's emotional health is just as important as taking care of their physical health. Anxiety and stress may seem tough to handle, but with patience and attention, you can help your dog live a calmer and happier life. Remember that each dog is unique, and what works for one may not work for another. So always observe your dog's behavior and adapt strategies according to their specific needs. What's the biggest sign of anxiety or stress you've noticed in your dog? Share your story in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like the video if it helped you in any way. See you in the next video!